Good morning. My name is Meg Kinnear, and I am the Secretary General of ICSID. I'm sorry I'm not able to join you in person today, but I'm very grateful for this opportunity to make a virtual intervention. Today, I'd like to give UNCTAD delegates some information about the current amendment process for the ICSID rules and regulations. Let's talk first about the impact of this process. Today, 153 states are members of ICSID. 90% of all investment treaties offer ICSID convention or ICSID additional facility as an option for dispute settlement, and we know that the mechanism at ICSID is chosen more than 70% of the time by parties. The ICSID convention gives our states the ability to amend the procedural rules, and it requires a 2/3 vote by our membership to adopt procedural amendments. It also provides that the rules in effect on the date that the case is commenced will be applied to that case. What this means is that once the new amendments come into force, they will apply to all newly registered cases. As a result, even first-generation treaties will have the new rules applied to them if they're started after the new rules go into force. So you can see that this can have a real impact without substantive treaty amendment. This means we're going to have a broad impact with these rule amendments, and we're able to do so in a short time frame. So that's an important opportunity for the international community. Let me tell you now a little bit about the process that we are following. Our rules have been amended 3 times in the past. In 1984 and 2003, the amendments were relatively technical. However, the amendments in 2006 were quite substantive and quite innovative. You may remember, for example, the rule that allowed early dismissal of cases that lacked legal merit. And this, of course, addressed concerns about the cost of an arbitration and the concerns that states had raised about the potential for frivolous claims. Perhaps the most well-known amendments were those in 2006, when we issued amendments addressing transparency. These allowed increased public access to hearings, increased public access to documents, and the potential for third parties, or amicus, to participate in cases. So these have had a very practical and far-reaching impact. I believe that the current amendment process is going to have an equally broad and equally important impact. We announced this process last year at our annual meeting in October. Our key objectives are to modernize the ICSID rules, to simplify them, to incorporate lessons learned from cases and from case proceedings, and to reduce the time and cost overall of these processes. And all of these improvements have to happen without adversely affecting due process or the balance between claimants and respondents. We began by canvassing all of our member states and asking for a contact person. And through that, we have created a community of states to give us feedback and to work with us on these rules. We now have more than 100 states who've named one or more contacts, and we have received more than 50 submissions with suggestions from states. At the same time, we have gone to the public and created a special web page that's explained the process and encouraged written submissions. All of those submissions are put on the website, and so you can see the kinds of ideas that are being discussed. We have also undertaken a survey of states to get some very concrete data about compliance with awards, and that is both awards of costs and awards of damages. And the results of this survey should be available in several weeks and is also going to inform the whole process of amendment. So now we are preparing a comprehensive background paper. We intend to circulate that to states at the beginning of April, and we will have a meeting from May the 3rd to 4th where we will go through each of the proposed amendments with states, talk about why the amendment is put forward, have questions and answers, and hopefully, if states have preliminary reactions, to receive those. After that, the working paper will be released publicly, and we will encourage any public commentary that's forthcoming. We will then have a series of regional consultations, all with the goal of getting feedback by the end of December 2018. Once we have that feedback, we will see where we have consensus and where we can go forward with rules amendment. It's possible that we will need to have some more discussion with states, or that we will have full consensus and be able to put the package forward. Our goal, in a very optimistic sense, is to have amendments approved by 2019. I suspect the more realistic expectation is that we will have amendments approved at the annual meeting of 2020, but either way, this is clearly the possibility to have a broad impact in relatively short time. Now let me turn to one or two of the areas that we're looking at and that have been suggested, so you have an understanding of the scope of this project. We received a lot of comments about constitution of tribunals and appointment of arbitrators. There were suggestions for codes of conduct, and in particular a number of comments about whether double hatting should be regulated or prohibited. There were concerns about time and cost, and encouragement to have both a general duty of efficiency, but also to tighten some of the specific time frames that you have to achieve things in a litigation. There were questions and comments about mandatory consolidation of cases. A number of parties felt that would be good and would help encourage and ensure consistency. On the other hand, a number of parties felt that mandatory consolidation was something that states did not want because they did not want to have to defend against a number of like interests at the same time. So there are different views. We've also had comments about further transparency, a number of comments about costs, and questions about whether there could be some kind of an expedited procedure for certain claims, perhaps small claims or claims from small and medium-sized entities. So this gives you a flavor of the kind of issue that's being dealt with. I'd like to conclude by summarizing what I hope that you will take away from today's comments. First of all, the ICSID system works very well, but we are committed to continue improving that system, and that's our shared goal, and that's the goal of this process. Second, not surprisingly, many of these issues are complicated. There is rarely a simple answer, but we believe that a constructive discussion can yield some real results. Thirdly, we're quite certain that these amendments will have a broad impact, and for all of those reasons, we very much encourage states to partner with us in this process. Finally, if you have any questions, or if you just want to talk about the amendments, I would be more than pleased to do so. Just email me or give me a call. I wish you a wonderful day today and very productive meetings, and we very much look forward to working with you on the ICSID amendment procedure. Thank you.